right, getting married may be a top priority for some, but Americans today aren't exactly rushing to the altar. Current trends show more and more couples are thinking twice about taking the plunge.
Trending on USA Today, an interesting look at the state of marriage in this country.
Yesterday, we told you about a jump in divorces among baby boomers.
Love and marriage are making headlines, with fewer and fewer couples saying, I do.
Yeah, I do.
Census Bureau numbers show marriage rates in the U.S. have hit an all-time low, with barely half of adults tying the knot.
I never wanted to be anybody's other half.
Both women and men are waiting longer to get married. The average age for brides has jumped to 27. It's 29 for grooms. And couples who do tie the knot face the risk of divorce.
From Sandra Bullock to Kelsey Grammer, even former Vice President Al Gore, it seems like many high-profile marriages have reached the end of the line.
With plunging marriage rates and celebrity splits splashed on TV screens and magazine covers, a lot of people are wondering, where's the love?
I do love you.
Okay, so happily ever after may be the goal, but what happens when marriage doesn't live up to your expectations? Studio 5 relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend joining me with a reality check of sorts for couples. So let's get at that big question. It is. The expectations, though. Are we just expecting too much?
Yes.
That's the easy answer.
It really is. I mean, we all expect it to be wonderful. It's like when you buy a car. You want the new, fresh smell. The new car smell, you want it to run perfect. If it doesn't, you take it in, you get it fixed. The problem is we're not consumers. We're partners. And if you want to make a marriage work, you got to manage the expectations of being a partner, not a consumer. This isn't disposable. We don't toss it away. We have to earn it. We have to work for it.
You take huge issue with that movie line, you complete me.
Yeah.
You complete me. That doesn't exist, you say.
Hooey! Nobody completes you. Here's what completes you. Principles complete you. Okay? Principles are what complete us. Your peace does not come from your partner. Never will, never can. Your permanent peace especially can't. You will not reach a lasting peace with somebody or something that's tangible and that doesn't last forever.
So when you say your peace comes from your principles, what does that mean? Break that down for us.
Birds do not feel comfortable because they have a nest. Birds feel comfortable because they know how to make a nest. Birds feel comfortable because when the nest breaks apart, they can fly. Pilots are afraid because if their plane breaks apart, they can't fly. So our comfort has to come from something that's more than just the thing. It has to come from our ability to consistently make the thing, the marriage, and make the marriage work. So our principles of a marriage are what should make us confident, not being married, not having a man, not having a woman. It should be the fact that I know how to serve, I know how to love, I know how to care, I know how to be a friend, I know how to forgive, I know how to forget, I know how to apologize. Notice those are the principles. And when I'm confident there, I have peace, even if my partner's a mess up. Because I know my life's not contingent and hinged upon one human. My life is really hinged upon my principles.
You also take slight issue with the phrase being in love with someone. What's this idea of being in love? Because I think couples then panic when they start to sense that they're not in love anymore.
When they're taking love, love's a verb, okay? It's not a feeling. This is M. Scott Peck taught that in the road less traveled, right? But one of the keys to this is you get to decide, do you want to grow love or do you want love to be a feeling? So you have to decide if you want your love to be chemistry, which is what most feelings are for. It's just chemicals. By the way, they also tend to fade in our marriages. Or you can make your love based on character. Character is where it's a verb where I'm going to earn it. Some other verbs that we could use are serving, loving, caring, lifting, forgiving, hoping. Those are all things that we should be learning to do in our marriages. But when we think we can fall out of love, we're not falling out of the verb. We're falling out of the feeling. And so what we want to do, if you want to keep the feeling alive, you have to keep serving. You have to keep loving. You have to keep forgiving. By the way, living the principles, right? So the love actually comes from living principle.
You've talked before, it's like depositing into a bank.
Exactly.
You're putting those deposits in on a daily basis.
And that's hard, right? Because especially in our culture where, well, no, you know, when you're just done with a car, you're done. But again, this is a partnership, not a membership.
What do you say to couples as you're coaching them who maybe one partner says, hey, I want a good, solid, great marriage, but he's not good, solid, or great? If one partner isn't living up to that expectation, how do you resolve that?
Well, the truth is you can't be solid together if you're not solid alone. So what I mean by that is if you want a long-term marriage to work, you both have to be independent. You can't have two dependent people that are too needy. You have to have two independent people that choose to go be interdependent. We need to choose to be more together. And why it's so essential. Every marriage I see, there comes a point where you need to tell your partner no. There comes a point where you need to also tell your partner, okay. And if you're not confident and solid enough to say no, then this isn't a partnership. This is one person leading the relationship where this one person wants it to go.
So do too many couples sit around waiting for someone else to fix the problem, or for him to get his act together, or for her to come to the table, when really it starts with that individual?
That's exactly right. And if you don't if you don't have the principles, and if you don't have the character to make the relationship last, then the relationship is only as strong as your weakest attribute. So if all of a sudden you're too weak to go, I have a client that just doesn't like school, never liked school, doesn't want to go to school, but also doesn't like her husband, doesn't want to stay with her husband, and can't make a living. So she's now not strong enough to go make a living. She doesn't want to go to school. She doesn't want to work. She's too weak. So she just stays with him. So if you want to create a truly lasting synergistic relationship, we both have to be strong enough to not need each other, yet we both want each other.
I love this next point. You say you can't improve something you don't pay attention to. How many of these problems just come down to, like you said, the service, the attention?
Oh, totally. Now, again, we don't pay attention usually in our world to things that aren't tangible. So we like the cars, the kids, the dinners, the meals, all of these things. But really, if you'll notice, the principles seep in around the intangibles. So you've got to start paying attention if you want a relationship to work, not just to your partner, but to her needs, to the need to be understood, the need to be heard, the need to, and his needs, the need for touch even, the need to be accepted. If we start paying attention to the needs, it'll grow. This isn't brain surgery. If people are attended to, just like they were when we were first in love, it works. When we start distancing ourselves and not paying attention, it dies.
And this idea of lowering our expectations is not the same thing as lowering our standards. It's just a different partnership, a different relationship that we can meet those needs in.
And I don't know that I don't think you need to lower your expectations. I think your expectations just have to be real. And I think what we do in our culture is we think we're elevating them, but really what we're making is we're making our relationship about love and a feeling, and we make it about one person who's going to meet all of our needs. None of those are real. There's not one human that can meet all of your needs. And so by just managing the expectation and being real about them, then there's not as big of a gap of pain. So it seems like we're lowering them, but we're just being real.
Good stuff. You're kind of smart. You're kind of smart. We're going to keep you around for that. And hey, you have a fun date night coming up.
This is the date night of all date nights. This is November 9th, Saturday night, okay? We're putting together a date night. It's at Eisenhower Junior High. This is all about what I'm calling the 4 spirits of communication. This is for people who need to learn how to communicate. It's great for the holidays. If you go to the website, Date Nights with Matt, put in Studio 5. Studio 5 viewers get a discount. 20% off.
So nice of you. Studio 5 is that coupon code?
Yep.
Okay, we'll post the details on our website as well. Thanks for being here, Matt.
Thank you.
We'll be back.